welcome again to the Badminton Europe podcast studio. Mark Phelan with you once again, as always, and joining me this time is Anders Antonsen. Anders, thank you very much for joining us here in our podcast studio, and certainly one of Europe's rising stars and brightest talents. And everyone started to kind of look up and take notice. There was that time around the Scottish Open and that victory and the declaration of the next one. And you believe that, and we know that, and we've seen you develop. That tournament and that win, was that a big milestone for you? And that coming out saying you're the next one, is that something that has worked out for you, and something that you have sits well on your shoulders as a young man?
I mean, I do not regret the statement, but it's something that I have. It's been something that I have had to talk about really much since that in all the interviews I've done. But it's all right. I mean, well, what else should I have said? She asked me if I was the next one. I could have made the boring answer and said that I hope so, and of course I was still humble and all that. You have heard a million times before, so I took the chance, and but I do not regret it. It's now it's just a thing, and I hear it all the time. So
do you? Did you put some pressure on yourself by saying that?
Yeah, probably. Of course, a statement like that's something that puts a little bit of pressure on my shoulder, but. Yeah, that's all right. I think you'll have to deal with pressure if you want to become good in this sport. So
sure.
Yeah.
Well, for what it's worth, we think you're the next one anyway. So for sure, on court, and that's where most people would see you on court, be it on TV or streaming or when people come to watch tournaments. You have this kind of cool character, demeanor, and in some ways you're a relaxed young man and show a lot of real maturity for your 20 years on this planet.
Yes.
Is that something that's just you, or is that something you kind of work on to kind of develop an on-court character?
No, not really. I'm trying to be as much myself as I can, and I'm not trying to pretend to be anyone else. So if you think I'm cool, then thank you. But that's. I'm not trying to be anyone else. I'm just trying to be myself, and but thank you.
Okay, so it's something you're quite happy to deliver, but this is just Anders as Anders, the way we see him.
I hope so.
Okay, cool. Let's talk about the Danish system. Wow, what a bunch of players you have in the Danish system, and you're all kind of pushing each other. Yeah. Does that raise you all guys to a new level when you have you have Rasmus Gemke coming behind again, the same age as you, and a good friend of yours, and then you have the other guys to look up to, and I'm soon there's another pot of Danish young boys coming along behind.
Hopefully.
Is that does that keep you guys motivated, and does that push you on personally?
Yeah, it really does. I mean, the practice we have back in Copenhagen is really good. I mean, of course, when you have top players like Victor and Jan and Witting, who's been there for some years now, and me and Rasmus coming up, and a bunch of other guys, that's great as well. So we have just a really great setup, and the men's single practice in Denmark is really good, and I'm enjoying being a part of it. So I mean, it's so important, and I'm really blessed to have. Top players to look up to and to learn from, and someday hopefully I can be the top player, and I can help the young players coming up. But I mean, it's really great, and unfortunately there's been a lot of injuries. I mean, Jan has been out for a long time, and now Victor has been out for a little while. So I mean, when we all are fit and ready to practice and give it 100%, then it's really good. I mean, you can feel that there is something special when all the guys are there, and we are really pushing on in practice, and it's really good. So hopefully Victor will be. I've heard that he's ready to practice when we come home here from All England, and Jan is on his way back. So it's going to be really good. Hopefully we can get a good practice period towards European Championships and Thomas Cup. So yeah.
Who are the jokers in the group? Would are you a guy that can play a little joke now and again at training?
Yeah, I think we're all jokers. We are having a good time. We are focused on the practice, but we can also just laugh a lot, and we're having a really good time in the practice. So I mean, a few years ago I was the youngster, and I was the one people were laughing a bit about. Now it's maybe Rasmus Gemge, who's a confused guy. So yeah.
What was the move like? You know, I know you're not a Copenhagen boy. Just remind people where you're from, and you had to make that move to Copenhagen to the national centre. Was that a big change for you?
I mean, it was all right. I was living in Aarhus, which is the other part of the country, and for a year or some I would be like one week in Aarhus and 1 week in Copenhagen, just to adapt slowly but surely, because it's the intensity of the practice is much harder in Copenhagen, and of course it is playing with those guys. So I had to adapt to it slowly, and I mean, the toughest part is probably happening right now, because I just moved into my own apartment.
Oh, okay.
The first year or some I lived with Kasper, my brother. So it wasn't really like moving because I was staying with him, and we could help each other with all the food and laundry and all that stuff. That suddenly I have to do all by myself now. So I mean, it's an exciting time, and it's also a little bit more stressful than living home with my parents or with my brother. So yeah.
The transition from kind of a Badminton Europe circuit superstar to the World Tour is a big jump.
Yeah,
I think you have realised that, and I remember Victor had to realise that when he made that transition. I think Victor went for a year without winning, or barely getting by the first round. Is that something that has been a difficult process for you, and or is it just, do you see it, and do you talk to your coaches, Kenneth, etc., about this being the part of the process, accepting losses as being part of the growing?
Yeah, it is. It's really different. As a few years ago, I came from the circuit tour, and I was doing pretty good. But suddenly I'm facing some tough guys, and there can be some pretty devastating defeats. But I mean, that's, as you said, that's something that I just have to accept. That sometimes, as yesterday against Leon Gill, I'm getting a bad experience and a tough defeat. So that's how it is on this level. The guys are really good. Men's single is really strong, so I have to adapt to the level, and maybe not focus that much on the results, but focus on the process, and getting better and better in practice, and that's what we're doing. We are working really hard in practice. Of course, it's frustrating when it doesn't work when you get to the tournaments and go on court, because of course you always want to win and deliver a good performance. But yeah, that's how it is. It's a long process, and I'm ready for that. I'm not expecting to win everything. From this is my second year on the Super Series level. So it's a process, and I'm enjoying it. It's tough sometimes because there are some losses that are pretty devastating, but that's how it is.
I remember you winning in Belgium, coming through qualification to win that tournament. Just a challenge tournament on the circuit, but one of Badminton Europe's better ones. What have been the highlights? Is that one of them? That kind of tell you that, I'm just a young guy arriving on the circuit and I'm blowing everything aside. I'm going to make it on the big stage.
Yeah, at that time it was a really big win for me. It was, I actually think it was my first challenge tournament. So
yeah,
it
you
was
had one, I think, in the Dutch before that, but that was a serious. Yeah,
it was. So that was quite surprising, actually, also for myself. I didn't expect it. I mean, at that time it was like every tournament I just surprised myself. Also, I didn't expect it to go so fast as it did. So at that time, of course, Belgium was a big win. I came from qualification, and yeah, I played a lot of matches at that time. Yeah, so yeah, it was
something to look back on.
Yeah, definitely. And I remember playing Christian Lin in the final. He's a good friend, and yeah, that's a great experience.
You're in for a funny and a long match with Lind if you're playing him. The Europeans last year also on home soil in Kolding, a great run to the final. Maybe not your best performance against Rajiv. Is the Europeans a big goal? You know, do you want to be a European champion on the way to being, say, a world champion and Olympic champion?
Yeah, of course. It was a good run to the final last year, but me and in Denmark were quite disappointed that we didn't get the men's single trophy. I mean, that's something that we just have to bring home to Denmark, and we didn't. So yeah, so that's something that we need to do this year. We really need to bring that goal home back to Denmark. I mean, that where it belongs. We have a bunch of great players, and yeah, that's where it should be. So our coach was a little disappointed last time. Yeah, even though I had a good tournament, yeah, the final wasn't good enough.
Okay. Off court, we've noticed, and everyone follows you on social media, and we see the guitar appearing all of a sudden in some posts and in some photographs. Enjoying learning guitar?
Yeah, I do.
Are you good at it? Or
I'm still learning. I'm not so good yet.
Okay.
But yeah, no, I think it was after China and Hong Kong. I realized that I was just spending too much time laying in my bed and watching a bunch of YouTube videos and just wasting my time. So I wanted to do something better with the time when we are on the tour. So yeah, I bought a guitar in Malaysia, really cheap, and Matthias Christiansen plays really good. So he's my teacher right now. Okay. And I'm I
assume you're still watching YouTube videos trying to learn.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. I still watch YouTube, just guitar videos now. So yeah, and now I just bought my own guitar back in Copenhagen. So yeah, I have my guitar back home, and then I have this guitar that I travels with. So yeah.
What music do you like?
It's funny because I actually listen to a lot of music that's not even close to something with a guitar. It's a lot of rap music and Drake and The Weeknd and all that. But I can listen to a lot of other music as well. Some rock and yeah.
What can you play on the guitar? Am I putting you on the spot?
I can play Fast Car by Tracy Chapman.
Yeah,
I have
era.
Okay, yeah. I have a list on my iPhone. There's about 10 to 15 songs, so I remember what I can play.
Okay, so the next time we'll get you in with a guitar and you can sing. We'll have a microphone ready for you.
Okay. Yeah.
You also produced these beautiful YouTube videos that we saw over the course of the last 18 months. Beautifully presented, the mood and the feeling of the videos, the way the videos actually move themselves through the sequences. Black and white, certainly for me as somebody who loves media, they drew me in and they got me thinking. What was the idea behind that, Anders? And is that something you want to continue with?
Yeah, I'm probably going to continue with that. There's been a while where we haven't done any videos, but we will probably do that again. It is just to get people who's not knowing much about how we practice and how we live, get them a feeling of what we are doing as badminton players, and a better look into my life as an athlete. And so yeah, I think we did some great videos, and we will continue doing that.
How much work goes into one of those? For example, you know, if they're 30 seconds, 1 minute, 10 minutes, each of those videos, I assume there's an awful lot of work goes into it, and there's somebody following you around for a long time just to produce one video.
I mean, it's different.
Okay.
Sometimes it can just be, you know, my video guy is he's filming a practice session, and then maybe an interview afterwards. So yeah, but it's different. But he's also expensive, so I will have to I will talk to him again and said that he will have to go down in payment.
Cut his price, so you have to start earning more.
Yeah, exactly.
But you know what they say, you pay for what you get, is an old saying. In other words, you know, or what's the other one? You pay peanuts, you get monkeys. So you know, it's an expression.
Yeah. Okay.
Good stuff costs money. Yeah.
Yeah, it does.
Last question, and I see you wearing your collection. This tracksuit from your sponsors, Forza, and I think you've been involved with the design of this, and I know you're in a kind of a long-term deal with them, and but this looks cool. Is this something you're happy with, and is this another distraction that you get involved with something like this, and something you enjoy?
I mean, it's something I enjoy. I just extended my Forza contract till 22. So yeah, and then this is a new thing that I'm a part of designing this this cloth, and I'm really happy with this is coming out next season, after the summer. So I will play in this cloth, the next year, and we're already in talks for what's coming next, and that's an exciting process as well. Yeah, I'm sitting at the table with the other guys and talking about clothes and styles and all that. That's exciting.
And the last question on style is your hair.
Yeah.
You never fail to amaze me. Every time I see you, it used to be Jan. Jan used to have a different haircut and a different facial hair and different whatever. You're kind of taking over on the hair stakes.
Okay.
Now you got different hairstyle again. And you were growing it for a long time, and you had the headband. Now that's disappeared.
Yeah.
What's the story behind that, man?
I don't know.
It's a personal thing.
Yeah, it is. I had the longer hair a few years ago, and I colored it white.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, I was quite happy with that at that time, but now I just feel like I will try something new. Yeah. And yeah, I just got a new haircut a few days ago, and I guess this is the haircut you get over here in England. So yeah.
Okay, cool. I can't wait for 15 years time where I put together a sequence of haircuts from you, and you look back and you'll go, what were we like? Anders, we're going to wrap it up at that point. Okay, it's been fantastic to have you here, firstly, and we thank you for giving your time, because we know time is precious when as top athletes, and it's been a great insight into you, and not just on the court but off the court. Remember, everyone, to follow Anders on all his social media channels. Very active on Instagram, and don't forget to go to his YouTube channel and hit subscribe, and you will see, I think, 5 or 6 episodes from your previous
and more to come.
And more to come, so watch out for those. And of course, with Badminton Europe, all our followers continue to follow us, and anyone who doesn't, hit like on our YouTube, Instagram and Twitter accounts, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. And don't forget that all our podcasts, including this new one with Anders, will now be available on iTunes. So that's a big step forward to us, so you can get all those podcasts there. Once again, Anders, thank you for joining us. And until next time, goodbye.